Hey guys, it's your boy AA Ron. I had a delightful opportunity to talk to Maurice Africh today about Cello's Gate, about how he so expertly marketed this indie book and how much love it's gotten. Enjoy this conversation. We talked for a solid hour, and there's a lot of gold in there for indie authors. And if you just want to listen to him talk, listen to us talk, it's a great time. So enjoy. We are here with my guy, Maurice Africh. Is that how I pronounce it? Africh?
You got it. You got it right.
Awesome.
It's rare to get it right, let me tell you.
Thank you. Well, I also want everyone at home to know that we didn't plan this. Like, we both arrived on this call wearing green shirts and black backwards caps. Just great minds. Something about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, I mean, you've kind of been one of my online indie author book friends for a little while, and you've had this tremendous debut release, Cello's Gate, that came out this year, and it's won some awards, and you've gotten a lot of loves from some really big book influencers. But like, who are you? Like, tell us about Maurice. Like, what's your life story? How did you get to here? Like, where you are now?
Well, I didn't prepare anything, but I'm a riff for a second. Okay, so my name's Maurice. I
Hey.
am obviously a fantasy author. I'm just a huge nerd, man. I spent a lot of time in my childhood just doing nerd stuff. I love all things fantasy. I grew up. My dad was a huge nerd too, and he kind of passed that down. He passed down. I like to say that my dad was a true fan, and that he was never the type of fan who hated the things he loved. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't care what it is. I don't care just give me more. Give me more content. So like my dad loved every Star Wars, everything. Like there
Nice.
was no Star he was not overly critical because he was just so excited to get it, you know?
The holiday
I think he
special, he
passed
was
that
all
down
about
to
it.
me. Yeah, yeah, 100%. 100%.
Awesome. Good for him,
He
man.
probably watched it. I bet he did. I don't know, you know.
It's bad.
But
Don't try it.
uh yeah, so I grew up a nerd. I I studied theater in college, so like I have a lot of experience with like character work, and I think that's what kind of birthed that for me. And
That's awesome.
then I spent a lot of time just writing books that went nowhere, that just live on my computer in a folder that I don't even look at,
Mm,
you know? And
so
just
real.
like putting pen to paper, working on my craft, and just reading and trying to figure out the kind of author that I wanted to be, because I was really like a genre hopper for a second. I
Mm,
didn't know if I wanted to write fantasy because I was like, oh, do I want to write like literary or speculative fiction? So I spent some time writing that. I think it helped me develop my voice as my narrative voice. And then
totally.
I ultimately came back to like what I love. When I wrote Cello's Gate, it was I wanted to write something. I wrote something that I wanted to read, something that I was
Yeah.
like I felt was not. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I was like,
Yeah.
I'll just write it, and hopefully, I can become so wildly popular that other people will start writing that too. So then I'll have that I want to read. But yeah, I that's me. That's me, man.
Do,
That's me in a nutshell.
I think you really touched on a really big nugget of wisdom, especially for people who are watching who may be thinking about writing their own book, is that you wrote Cello's Gate because you wish this book existed. It's like, I want something like
Yeah,
this, but I'm not finding it anywhere. So you went ahead and made
yeah.
it.
That's yeah, 100%. That they always say that it is something you hear all the time, and it's write the book you want to read, and it's
Totally.
so true. I mean, because if you're doing that, then you're coming from a really organic place. You're not
Uh,
writing for commercialism. You're not just jumping on a
mm,
trend, and because you want it and because you love it, you're going to put the work in, you're going to massage it, and it's ultimately going to show. You can tell when a writer is excited about what they're writing.
totally.
You can also tell when they're just going through the motions.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that really resonates with me a lot because when I was writing The Legend of I mean, it was based off a D&D campaign that I had with some of my close friends for a few years.
Oh god,
So,
incredible. Okay,
yeah,
amazing.
we all had like all of our characters are in the book in some capacity, but I wanted, oh gosh, like I
Were
was
you the
raised
wizard
on the
waffle? Were you the waffle wizard?
I was Friar Steve. Friar Steve was my character.
Okay.
Yeah.
No way.
So
Okay, okay.
Yeah, the Waffle Wizard was an NPC that kept popping up occasionally and would sell us
Amazing.
waffles.
Amazing.
But he also had like crescent rolls, I guess, but that didn't make it into the book. Like, it just, I don't know. For some reason, we always had like hundreds of crescent rolls like on our person, like in our campaign. But anyway, I wanted to write a fantasy that felt like a loving parody of the genre. And, you know, because I was raised on these like spoof movies like, you know, Top Secret and, you know, Young Frankenstein, where I'm like, I want something that is like a parody of the genre, but also has these like lovable characters who do have things they have to like address and go through and grow from. So that was like what I set out to do. And as you know, I don't know if you've won any awards previous to today, but as of today, we are both award-winning authors. That happened today.
I know. That's amazing. That's incredible.
It's
Which one
nuts.
did you win? I can't remember. I couldn't remember which one. You were talking about it before we hopped online. I thought we were recording. We were not.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. But the Legend of won Best Fantasy of the 2025 Bromantasy Community Book Awards, and you won
my
Best
God.
Sci-Fi
Best
and a
sci-fi.
few other awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I won other. I won Best Sci-Fi and Best Debut. But yeah, you
Um,
won. You took this fantasy spot, which was coveted, highly
oh gosh.
coveted.
I don't know. I was really pushing, you know, like voting on my stories and stuff, though. I was like, guys,
Were
please
you?
vote. This would be so. I was. Like, it was on my stories just about every other day on Instagram, being like, hey, guys, remember to vote. I wasn't telling them to vote for me. I was just saying, hey, vote. And there was like a
Go
screenshot
vote.
of Whispers
You
of the
gotta be
Storm and Price of
shameless,
Power.
Aaron. You've got to be
Yeah.
shameless. The caveman cooking videos have built you an audience. Make them
It's
do what
nuts.
you want them to do.
Yeah. No,
Just tell
like,
them, vote for me.
Yeah, I struggled with that for a little while because, you know, you know how it is. Like when you're on social media, you're experimenting a lot. Just like throw a bunch of stuff out there, see what sticks, see what works. And those caveman cooking videos just took off. And now I was like, well, shoot, how do I like connect my books to this and get people to buy copies of The Legend of
I could feel you through the content. I could feel you through your content struggling with it, like being like, no, this isn't the thing that, oh my God. And I remember
was
you talking about it
resistant,
early
yeah.
on. It had just happened. You were like, you know, I don't think it's affecting my book sales. It's just like, and this was like after the first one had gone viral. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's like that guy. There's that guy on TikTok that's, this is something I wish I learned before my 30s. Like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
every video is that. And you don't want to get stuck in that rut where like you have to
Totally.
be producing the same thing over and over and over and over again. I think you've done a
Totally.
good job about
Thank you.
varying up your content.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have a gold mine, and that's what so many content creators want. They want that gold mine that just brings people in. You struck gold, brother, and it's. I think you've also done a good job about bringing in the Legend of I've seen
Thank
a
you.
lot of your cooking videos. And you
I
somehow
plug the book
insert.
somehow.
You do it
Yeah.
clever. It's clever.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was tough at first because, like, I don't want this to be my online identity. I don't want people to know me as the caveman cook. So I had to be intentional.
People have started
like,
saying, yeah.
oh, all the
What is
time.
it?
You go into my comments
In
on
my
any
comment
post, and it's
section-
just, yeah. In yours?
Yeah. Yeah, well, so if you comment on one of my videos, people will come under you and go, yeah, to you under my
I've
videos.
never
It's
noticed that.
crazy.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
No, it's hilarious. I mean, hey, I'll take the engagement. But I that is so funny. It was actually one of the questions I'd written down to ask you about. Like, I could see, like, early on there was this like you were having this kind of like, or I was extrapolating from what I was seeing, and I thought I was like, I think I felt like I saw not frustration, but like almost like a kind of like almost like why this? Why is this the thing? Like I felt like that. I felt that energy a little bit.
I
Then
was feeling
felt
both
it
of those
kind
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you overcome that?
Oh,
Because I feel like you've definitely embraced it at this point, and I think that's good. I think you should.
thanks.
But I'm
yeah,
curious.
I've definitely been more intentional with how I've implemented it in my content strategy. I only do one caveman cooking video a week. Wednesday is my caveman cooking day. That's when I do a recipe and show everybody. That's it. But it's one a week. That's it. Everything else is Aaron N. Hall, author, bookish stuff. So I stay grounded in my personal brand as an author and creator. But I'm also
Yeah.
giving people what they want, because people are showing me and they ask me directly, like, please keep making these. Like, these are so fun. They make me smile. My kids love them. So I'm like, I gotta give the people what they want,
Oh
you
my
know. But
God.
I'm gonna find a way to shoehorn my books in there too, because I'm on a mission here, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at first I was really frustrated with it. I remember complaining to my friends, being like, "Why is this the thing that's taking off? Like, this one stupid trend. Like, why is this what everyone loves?" But it's like, dude, you got to ride that wave. You got to just figure out a way to make it
You
work
have
for
to.
you. And
Because
honestly,
you
the
never
data
know what's going to.
shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, the data
Have
shows
you
as soon as
seen
those.
now an increase?
Oh yeah, like if you go on my Ingram Spark and see my paperback sales, like it was like pretty consistent month over month until I started posting those caveman cooking videos, and now the line is like this. So it worked.
Amazing.
It worked.
You also
Yeah.
hit like you've hit 100,000 followers on
Yeah. Yeah, 100.
Instagram. I think
Yeah. 111
130 on TikTok.
on TikTok. Yeah. So between both Instagram
Crazy.
and TikTok,
Crazy,
I
dude.
have almost a 250,000 follows. So that's weird.
Man, that's
Yeah.
insane. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thanks. Thanks, man. We're not here to talk about me though. Like that's
Hey,
not
we'll
why
talk
we're
about whatever
here.
I want to. Okay, okay, okay.
But I
I gotta
mean,
erase that from my list
what
of
were some of the
questions.
biggest influences that you had in terms of like sci-fi and fantasy growing up? Like what were some of, like, you mentioned your dad was like really into nerd stuff, but what were some
Yeah.
of those early things that you remember just sinking your teeth into and really enjoying?
So I grew up watching all Star Wars, Star Treks. I've seen every Star
That's
Trek.
right. That's right.
That so like I was like my dad watched it, you know, so we watched it with him, and we
Hmm.
watched everything. He was such a he watched everything. If it was a you know, we watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. We watched kung fu movies. We watched
Nice.
Godzilla. I was a huge Godzilla fan.
Very cool.
And then as I started growing up, I got really into Final Fantasy. We talked about it briefly. Like
Hmm.
Final Fantasy was like my game system. I loved role playing. I
Nice.
loved that world because it was this kind of like steampunk esque science fantasy. So it was like far future. They had guns, but they also had swords. They had
Hmm.
magic, and I just love that blend. And I think that's really what stuck with me was like I just wanted that. I
Hmm.
watched Firefly in high school. I saw Treasure Planet when I was a kid. I
Yeah.
have all the same. If ask any nerd our age, I don't even know if we're the same. Ask any nerd my age, and we all like the same stuff. Like I grew up
Yeah.
on Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon, and like I knew all of that stuff, and it's all kind of like everybody's like when they read Cello's Gate, they're like you it feels like Maurice wrote a love letter to the genre of science fiction and fantasy, the genres.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I feel like that's true and also unintentional. Like I
Hmm.
didn't intend to write this homage. I
Hmm.
did put Easter eggs. I do have some Easter eggs in there. But if you don't catch them there, you don't feel left out. Like they're
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
subtle. But
Totally.
yeah, I didn't mean to do that. That wasn't on purpose. That's just what I like.
Hmm.
And it's what I like. I wanted my own special sword, right?
Yeah.
So I made my own special sword. I wanted a
I
lightsaber. I
love that.
wanted a razor. Like
Uh-huh.
I wanted that. So like I put that in my book. I wanted there to be slang because I love slang in
Uh-huh.
fantasy books. Like
Yeah.
that's such a just a nerd. I wanted cool magic that feels cool. I wanted yes.
Yeah, I got
Hey,
the Stay
look at
Sturdy
that.
Friend sticker right there,
Stay
right
sturdy,
below Wizard
friend.
Kermit with a gun. So I got to represent my boy
It's
Maurice.
so weird to hear and have so many people say that to me. Like
Yeah, I've seen it in your
to
comments
call
of
me
like,
friend.
Stay Sturdy
Yeah.
Friend. Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. I love it.
so
It's
sick.
so cool. It's so cool. So yeah, I mean, I think those were huge influences. As a writer, I started reading. I as a kid, I read Harry Potter. That was like the I read
Yeah.
every book like 5 times. I was
Hmm.
like a huge Harry. That was the only. Those were the only books that I liked.
I was
And I
similar. Yeah.
always tell people this. I always tell people like if you're not a reader, you just haven't found your genre. That's why I
Yeah.
hate people that are so judgmental about reading. Because like they're
Yeah.
like, you have to read this and you have to. I don't have to do anything. I don't have
Yeah.
to do anything that you think I should have to do. I need to find what I like and I need to stick to it. And that's what everyone should
Amen.
do.
Yes,
100%.
100% agree. Yeah, I feel like definitely the fantasy community, I feel like is getting better about this, but for a while it was
Yeah.
like, romantasy? That's not actually like fantasy. Dog, like if
People are
people are getting,
jerks. People
yeah,
are
just
jerks about it.
let people read what they want. Like romantasy is
Yes.
fine. There's a lot of great stuff out there. I've read some romantasies that I like. So like people just need to chill, dude.
I
Reading
read
should be done
Akatar
for
and I
pleasure.
actually I enjoyed it. I gave it
I
four. It
haven't
was a 4-star read for me.
I haven't read that one yet. The one that I really enjoyed was like a small press book called Iron Rose by my friend Abigail O'Brien, and it is a
Cool.
retelling of Beauty and the Beast, where the Belle
That's what
character is kind of like,
Akatar is.
yeah, oh, how about that? Yeah, I'll have to like read Akatar and figure out which one I like more. But yeah, Abigail did a great job with the book. Like the action scenes are super well written. Like the male lead was actually like a believable person, and not
Look at
just
that
like
cover.
yeah, and she did a great job with it, and she even got a quote from Marissa Meyer for the cover. So she did like everything right
Wow.
with this book release. She did a great job.
Dark MMA. Is it? Oh, okay. That's a different cover. I was seeing something else. I was
Oh,
Googling
gotcha.
it. Oh, here's the
Yeah, yeah,
cover. No, that's Molly Breyer. That's a very different book.
yeah.
Can
But
you see me?
what
Yeah.
I want to know what kind of like tip the scales. What was the spark that made you go,
Oh,
I'm gonna write this book? Like I'm gonna write Cello's Gate. What was that decision of I'm going to write this book and it's gonna rock?
so I was writing a speculative fiction book called June Was Not a Sex Robot, and it was kind of like
Amazing
this
title.
Black Mirror esque. Thank you. Near future kind of sci-fi story about a couple who's and the wife of the couple has had a debilitating accident that has left her legs kind of mangled, and so they
Mm-hmm,
need to hire like a live-in nurse to help her
mm-hmm,
rehabilitate, and they can't afford that, but their insurance pays for a sentient, which is a sex robot.
mm.
That's what they're mainly advertised as is sex robots. But they also have all these other features. They can learn anything because you just
Uh huh.
install packages in them, so they can learn how to be a live-in nurse. So it's this comedy, this speculative fiction comedy about this 6'3" gorgeous sex robot who comes out the package butt naked,
Mm-hmm,
and like it's really like hilarity ensues. It's all hijinks. I was writing
mm-hmm.
that and I was querying it, and I was like, I really want to see because that was my like speculative fiction literary upmarket brain. Like that's where I was
Mm-hmm.
writing, and I was like,
Sure.
I want to write something nerdy. I want to write something with some magic, and I was playing Final Fantasy Tactics at the time,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which is one of my favorite games of all time. It's a
Yeah, yeah.
strategy game, and in that story, uh, there are these stones that have basically demons inside them, and
Mm-hmm.
there are these high members of this clergy that are collecting these stones and harnessing the powers of these demons, and they're
Mm-hmm.
the villains of the whole storyline. And I was like, that is fascinating, and I was just started cooking on it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so then I just what happened was I built the crew, and that's usually how I start anyways. I like build the characters. But I
Start the
knew
characters.
like
Yeah.
I found family is what I love. I can't
Yeah.
imagine I'm gonna ever write a book without a found family in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a piece of paper somewhere. I don't know where it is because we've moved and we were traveling. We were nomads for 2 years, so it's
Oh,
somewhere.
cool.
But it's just the names of Gray, Min, Dot, Mars, Farlow, Willow, Bones on a
Mm-hmm.
piece of paper and their job title. And it was like Mars was tank. He was the
Mm-hmm.
tank of the party.
Oh yeah.
Like I was building a party basically. Um, and that's how it started. And then I started writing it, and I probably wrote that first chapter of them on that heist 17 times, just
Mm-hmm.
over and over again, writing
Mm-hmm.
it from first person perspective. I changed the tense. I was really just experimenting a lot. Um, yeah, and then I just everything with June Was Not a Sex Robot didn't it kind of fell through.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I got to get back to the grind, and I was like, I think I want to do this, and so I just went for it.
That's
with
dope.
Cello's Gate.
That's dope. So how much time did it take you from beginning to, final draft, all done, ready to publish?
So it took me about 2 years to write,
Okay.
all in all.
Hmm.
But I was during that time. I was in a band. My
Oh,
wife and
cool.
I were an indie folk and indie pop duo.
All
So
right.
yeah,
That's
we
dope.
released a studio album in 2019. So I took
Nice.
like a 6 month break in the middle of writing Cello's Gate to record an album and like do release shows and like do that whole thing. That was really cool. It was amazing.
Amazing.
We were played in like over 50 different countries. Like it was really, really such a
That's
great
incredible.
experience.
Jeez.
Um, yeah, it's on
You're
Spotify. Still
you're
electric, everybody.
Yeah, you're freaking cool, Maurice. I mean, I used to be an avid musician too. It's funny
What do
because
you play?
oh gosh, I mean, in high school, like I used to be more passionate about music than I was about like fantasy and books and stuff. So during
Yeah.
my teen years, I taught myself guitar. Just learned to read tabs. Never really learned to read like notes or anything, but just tabs. And
You don't
then
need
I kind
to.
of like graduated to drums and bass, and I started collecting microphones and stuff, and basically like had a little recording setup in my bedroom where I would record myself doing a drum track, and then I would do a couple guitar tracks and then bass tracks, and I would just record my own songs. And I put out a couple of albums before I went on my Mormon mission when I was 19. So like this
What?
microphone, this Audio Technica AT2020 is the one that I had in high school recording my vocals. And I've got my Behringer 6-channel mixer, and I've got my Behringer like USB audio interface, right? Like I'm recording this like this call with old
That's
music gear that I
incredible.
had, yeah, in like 2008. I dug it out from storage, and I'm like, I wonder if this will work. And I got it all tested last week, and I'm like, this is great. This is awesome. So yeah, dude, I did that too.
Are
It
your
sounds like
albums
you
still
were.
out there?
Oh, thankfully, no. I mean, I know I don't want
What?
anyone to
You
find
what?
those. No, 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 no. Like it's oh gosh, it's like imagine I'm 34 years old now. I don't want people listening to this stuff that I was writing when I was an angsty 16-year-old. And gosh, just no, don't go looking for it, people.
But
Please
you,
don't show it to me if you found it. I don't want to know. I
I'm
don't
gonna
want a
look.
reminder
I
of it.
gotta look now. I gotta.
No, no, don't do that. Don't do that. But your
Brother,
band just sounds like they're probably much better.
well, we were in our late, oh God, how old was it? Late 20s. So we were in our late 20s. I mean, we had a blast, man. We recorded it in
Mm.
Boston. We
Oh,
did the
sick.
whole thing.
That's
It
where I
was
served my
so
Mormon mission.
cool. Really?
Yeah, I was in Boston.
In Boston?
Yeah.
Why?
It, that's where they send you, dude. When you go on a Mormon mission, you apply, and then they like send you where they think you belong. So it was not on my radar at all, and they just said Boston, Massachusetts, and it's not just the city of Boston. I mean, I was in Massachusetts for half the time and like Connecticut for half the time, but I was in the city of Boston for like 3 months, and I loved it. It was great.
Wow, trying to get rid of those heathen liberals who trying to change them. That's
You
so
know,
crazy. Because you think that Mormon mission, I think obviously you went to South America,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah,
or Africa. Like, that's where my
totally.
brain goes. That's
Hmm.
so interesting that it's like, no, you had a Mormon mission to another state in the United States,
Yeah,
Massachusetts,
yeah.
one of the best. Like, that's where you. What was the job? What were you doing?
Oh, dude, like a Mormon missionary, basically, I'm going to give you a lowdown of like their daily schedule, all right? Back when I
Tell
was
me.
serving like 15 years ago, like you get up at 6:30, you exercise for half an hour, you have like an hour to have breakfast and like shower and like get ready. And then by 8 o'clock, you're studying the scriptures. Like you're in the Book of Mormon, you're in the Bible, like you're, studying the scriptures for an hour by yourself and then an hour with your companion, like you're because they set you up in teams of two,
Buddy.
so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So then by 10 o'clock, you're out and about, basically trying to fill your day with teaching and preaching, dog. Like whether it's knocking doors, whether it's actually like having a sit down lesson with people. Maybe you're walking around a downtown area with pass along cards or copies of the Book of Mormon. And, by 9 o'clock, you're supposed to be home. And then you plan for the next day for half an hour. And 9:30 is just kind of like unwind time. And by 10:30, you're supposed to be in bed. It's like super structured. And everything you do is supposed to be just focused on like teaching and preaching and serving your community and like getting out there
Wow.
and, trying to convince people to become Mormon.
I love the serving the community part. That's really
Yeah.
amazing.
But I get the other stuff is like, well,
Yeah, well, yeah,
Like, listen,
I wasn't raised Mormon, you know, like I
yeah,
don't.
yeah, yeah. I have a complicated relationship with the church now, but dude, I had a great time when I was out there, and yeah, it's interesting. You learn to fall in love with the people who absolutely detest your existence. It's weird, but yeah, I love New England so much.
Yeah, I think that's so much too. It's like they don't detest you. They detest what you stand for and everything you
Yeah,
believe. And,
yeah,
and
that's
really, I
valid.
think people are just bothered by loitering, and that's it. I think that's the biggest thing that like people are like don't knock on my door. Why are you knocking on my door? Like
Yeah,
people have
yeah,
the no soliciting signs. Like it's
hmm
but also the church is complicated, and especially the Mormon church. I mean, it's
oh yeah,
definitely complicated for sure.
yeah.
They,
It's
their
yeah.
reputation, the things they stand for. I know there's been a lot of progression
Yeah.
in the Mormon church. Brandon Sanderson is a huge. I mean, he's
Oh,
a like a
he's
deacon.
devout.
Like yeah.
Oh, he's not a
You see
deacon.
it
I
in his
mean,
writing.
like,
You feel it in his work for sure.
well, I mean, he teaches at BYU. Like, he teaches a creative writing
Yeah.
course, and in order to teach at BYU, you have to be Temple recommend worthy, which is like a really high standard for
Is he
Mormon
not a
living.
deacon?
Like most guys are deacons in Mormonism when they turn 12. Like when you
Okay.
get like,
Okay. So I
so
see. I don't
I'm
understand.
a deacon. It's the terminology is just a little different. That's all it is. So yeah, he's probably like more of a high priest considering the age that he's at now. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. I
Anyway.
mean, I know he is. He's like a high level. That's all I know. I've seen the videos from the BYU people.
Hmm.
Those
Yeah.
those TikTok videos are outrageous, my friend. They
Oh,
are
are you talking about the
hilarious.
ones where like the guy will go around and say, "Hey, would you rather like kill a puppy or drink a cup of coffee?"
Yes,
Yeah, those
yes.
are nuts. Those are nuts. I think he's
Those are
finding
in.
like the craziest, strictest, like wildest, like Mormons
I feel
because
like
I would be
part
like,
of it
dog, I'll
has to
sip the
be like
coffee.
satire. It has to
Maybe
be
I don't know.
satire.
I don't know, but to me, it's like I don't know. It's weird. It's anyway.
And
Mormonism. That's
we don't need to
like
get into Mormonism
yeah.
for
We don't
sure,
need
for
to. We
sure.
don't need to. But like, I do really want to talk to you though about your efforts to market Cello's Gate because from my
Yeah,
perspective, you've absolutely crushed the marketing efforts. So like, for
thank you.
other indie authors watching, what are some of the pieces that have been the most helpful for you? Like, what has helped you get to this success that you've achieved?
It's a really very complex question to answer. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna try to like distill. Hold on one sec.
Totally.
My dog, he's a Chorky. He's six
Hmm.
pounds. I posted about him. He's on all my feeds, but he has a heating pad in my office and a heating pad in my wife's office,
Hmm.
and he loves both of them equally. And so he'll just like every 30 minutes scratch on the door and just bounce between our offices. It is
Aw.
hilarious. She's still working, but that actually brings me to so that's a complex question to answer. I'm going to try to be succinct, but I'm probably going to fail. My wife is a marketing expert, so she's been
Yeah,
working in
yeah.
marketing for over a decade. She is like she's a guru. People hire her to develop marketing plans, high level marketing plans for. She's worked with Inc. 500 companies. She's worked with tech startups all over the world.
Wow.
Like she's a big deal. He
Yeah.
came back.
Tell your dog hi for me.
Hi, Toby. She's a huge deal in that world, and so she helped me develop. And I've worked in marketing for 10 years. I'm like a grunt, though. I've worked in marketing writing, copywriting, SEO
Yeah.
writing. I've done a
Yep. I
lot of
get it.
graphic. I'm a graphic designer and web designer, so
Yes.
I've done a bit of work in marketing myself. So I had a lot of knowledge coming in, and what we decided was when we did this, we're gonna do it as if it's a traditional book. I queried over 100 agents. My
Hmm.
goal was to go traditional. And
Hmm.
so when I essentially failed at that, I was like, I want to do it. If I'm going to do it self published, I'm going to do it right. So I've spent a ton of money on the product because that's the most important thing. And
Yeah.
nobody's going to back you if your book isn't good. It doesn't matter how much you want it. It doesn't matter how many videos you make. crying about
Yeah.
how unsuccessful you are. Like, no one's going to back you unless they enjoy what it is you do. So you
Hmm.
have to first and foremost write a good book and
Yes.
package it well. And
Yes.
like you understand that your book is
Hmm.
packaged incredibly well.
Thank you.
Um,
Appreciate that.
and it's not easy and it costs money and but you've got to do it. You've got to do
Hmm.
it. If you're going to be self-published, don't be self-published because it's easy.
Yes.
Like, that's the problem. Be self-published because it's harder, but it's worth it because you have full creative control. And
Totally.
so when I started the marketing process, the whole goal was I just want as many people as possible talking about it.
Hmm.
So I did a huge ARC campaign in the beginning. So the 3 months leading up to the launch, I was sending 20 DMs a day on
Nice.
TikTok and Instagram. Um, Not every day, some day, but you're limited. You can only do 20 a day before they'll shadow ban you,
Hmm.
and stop you. You can't send DMs anymore.
Hmm.
So I was doing that. I was looking, I was burning through like crazy, and like I don't know what the success rate was. Not everybody answers their DMs. I've had so many people come back to me since and been like, "Oh my God, I never saw this."
Hmm.
And it's because it gets buried in those requests that people don't look at because they're
Hmm.
getting filled with stuff.
Oh,
So like
totally. Yeah.
I just shot into the wind, man. I was just like a machine gun shooting into the wind, hoping, and I didn't pay a single person. And I want to make that clear because I've been
Yes.
accused of that. But I didn't pay a single person to review my book. I just sent it out. And fortunately, people wanted to talk about it. And so then I was like, okay, perfect. Because now I have a lot of UGC content. And for those who don't know, UGC is user generated content. So like
Yes.
I have a lot of user generated content. So
Hmm.
I packaged that into ads. And then I spent a ton of money on ads. The
Ugh.
goal from the beginning was push the boulder up the hill. At some point, it will crest.
Hmm.
At some point, I won't have to push anymore. At some point, 3 months in, because if you don't know, if you're not a self published author, and this might apply to traditional authors too, but you don't get paid for a long time. Those
Hmm.
payments are not quick. They come 3 months after
Yep.
the month end. So like
Hmm.
they'll take April and you'll get that in April, May, June, July, at
Hmm.
the end of July.
Yeah.
And that's how the writing works. So like everything that I was doing in those first 6 months, which is like 3 months pre-launch, 3 months post-launch, had to operate on a budget that we set.
Yeah.
And then once I started getting paid, it was like, boom, I'm not taking any of this money. I work full time. So I'm
Hmm.
still working. I'm going to take this money and it's going right back into it. So then the
Yes.
book started paying for itself, which
Yeah.
was amazing.
Hmm.
Uh, but I spent a lot of money on ads, my friend. And because I had really good, I don't know if you've seen my review compilations, but they're just like
Yeah, they're great.
snipped together
Yeah.
videos of people talking about yeah. So like
Yeah.
those, I just meta ads just went crazy. I tried Amazon ads, didn't have a lot of success. Some
Yeah.
people do, but I understand that the whole thing is you're not going to break even and you're not going to profit on Amazon ads, from what I
Hmm.
understand. Like
Yeah.
you
And I've
have,
heard
but
like
meta
don't.
ads you can.
Yeah, but I've heard don't even like worry about Amazon ads until you have like at least 1,000 reviews on your book, because you're going to be lined up with a handful of other titles on that little
Yeah.
carousel. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
you and I had very, very similar approaches to promoting our work. I have tried my hand at ads. I suck at ads. Like I need like a mentor or a sensei or something to really help me out. But I've seen your ad where like you have this video of these little splices of all these like glowing reviews of Cello's Gate, and I remember seeing that and be like, ooh, that would be so nice if I had that. That's brilliant. But what I did, because my background's in public relations, I studied PR at Utah Valley
Right.
University.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, like first and foremost, what you said about like a high quality book, 1000% true. Like, no amount of marketing can make up for an okay book and an okay cover. Like, you need to crush it for both of
It needs to
those.
be great. It
Yeah,
needs to be great. Like that's the
absolutely.
truth. Even a a good book with a good cover is not enough. And
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah. It needs to be a great book. It has to be like unique enough that people want to talk about it and like share it with their friends.
yeah,
And the cover, like I call it the Barnes and Noble test. Like, if you were walking through a Barnes and Noble and you saw that cover, would you stop and look at it? Would you pick it up?
exactly.
So when I was planning the Legend of I was like, what if was just in big fat red letters on that front cover, and it had kind of this Adventure Time feel. And yeah, people love the cover.
Look at
You
it,
know,
dude. It's jumping out behind
thanks,
you.
man.
It's like
Thanks.
it exude. I don't know. It looks beautiful. It looks great.
Thanks, dude.
You
But
did a
yeah,
great
I
job.
found
You did a great job.
well, I didn't illustrate it. It was illustrated by C. Alexander Larson, and it turns out he was just like a friend of mine. I saw his Instagram, and he was like, I was like, dude, Al has just the look I'm looking for. I'm gonna ask him if he's willing to do a book cover, and he was, and he gave me a reasonable price, and he's my guy now. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna hire
That's
you for each book in the
incredible.
series. But anyway, yeah, you got to have a great book. You have to have a great cover. But I put together a big spreadsheet. Like, I found this directory of people online who have marked themselves as liking cozy fantasy or like willing to review cozy fantasy. And it was like 250 people. And I was like, that's my guide. So I like
Nice.
one by one emailed or DM'd or whatever and said, hey, this is my book. The beta readers loved it. Here's what it's about. I'd love to send you a free copy for just like a review. Let me know if you're interested. If not, like, it's all good. And it had a 17% conversion rate, not just of people who accepted,
That's
but people who left a
incredible.
review before it came out. Yeah, so it had like 50 reviews by release date. Yeah, but it was a
Amazing.
ton of footwork,
Amazing.
ton of footwork.
Yeah, you have to. And also, I want to point out something. You said 17%. To a layman, that's like, well, that's not that much.
Mm.
Because you don't understand open rates, you don't understand conversion
Yeah,
rates. 17% is crazy.
yeah. In
That's
marketing speak, it's
crazy.
nuts. It's nuts.
That's insane. Like you will be lucky. You have a great campaign if you have a 3% conversion rate. Like
Hmm.
even 1% is often profitable. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy, dude. That's amazing. That's
Thanks, man.
incredible.
But yeah, ads still elude me. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how to make ads work for me because, dude, I ran an ad trying to push people toward my Shopify store to buy like a Legend of a ebook, and it got
Uh-huh.
zero convert. It was getting like decent clicks. Like, clicks were fine, but it just was not converting on the website. So I'm like, okay, we're stopping this. We need to figure out
There's
something else.
so many little tricks and tweaks that you have to make on Meta, and it's like they make it to where it looks simple, but
Hmm.
they're like, don't click that, don't click that, don't click that. There's like, but you don't know that if you don't have experience with it. And I have experience
Yeah.
with it, so like
Hmm.
I know how to run and I know how to set up a Meta ads campaign.
Nice.
It's a lot of work though. I'm constantly tweaking it. It takes constant work, but you
Mm.
also can't. You've got to like set it and forget it too, because every time you make a change, they reset everything.
Yeah.
And Meta is really crazy because I'm not getting in trouble for saying this, but Meta, I there's a lot of bot traffic. So
Mm.
like you just have to understand that that's happening. Tracking everything that comes in is so important. As an author, that's really difficult because Amazon doesn't allow us to connect a metapixel to Amazon like storefronts. Same thing with
Mm.
like Barnes and Noble. We can't do that. We have no ability to track those conversion numbers. So what I recommend doing, don't send them to a Shopify page.
Mm.
Send
Okay.
them to a lander. And
Uh-huh.
on that lander, have a link to buy ebooks, have a link to buy signed books, have a link to Amazon, have a link to Barnes and Noble, and then mark those links as purchases. They will not be purchases. They will be engagement. They'll be interested people. Because if they
Mm.
clicked on those, the bots won't click. They'll go to the website and then they'll back out. So they'll be there
Hmm.
for like a microsecond.
Mm.
But people who click, they're interested. Those are the people you want. And that's the goal. Is you want to make sure, like, if you are marking all of those as purchases, then you know that something's happening.
Mm.
Because there's so many people who will see an ad, go to your website, and be like, "Well, I don't want to buy it. I'll just buy it on Amazon," or like, "I'm going to get it on my Kindle right now," and they just open up, they get their Kindle and buy it. But you
Sure.
don't know that that's happening because they didn't
Hmm.
buy the paperback on your website. You don't know that they then went to Kindle and bought it. So you just
Hmm.
lose that data, and you
Hmm.
think you failed. You think your
Hmm.
campaign failed, but it might not have, and you
Hmm.
and you don't know. So you kind of have to trick the system a little bit, and you got to work around it. And as other businesses, it's so easy because you have access to the end user data.
Hmm.
But as authors, they make it so damn hard. It's
Yeah.
so, and it's because they want to gatekeep all this stuff. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's part of it. They
It
they
is what it is, man.
they everybody loves their
Yeah.
data, man.
Yeah,
Everybody
they
loves their
do.
data.
Well, I was taking mental notes through that whole thing. You indie authors watching, like that was just a gold mine that he gave you. So remember that. Remember that.
And I
D-
also have a series. I have a series on my TikTok that I have a playlist in a collection of indie marketing tips. So
nice.
people can go check that out. There's definitely it's more the like base level. But I do discuss some things that are, I think, unfortunately hard truths for a lot of indie
Hmm.
authors, and they don't
Yeah.
understand that consistency is so important. Like, so important. It's a numbers game. You have to
Yeah.
get out there. You have to be. And not only is consistency super important, the ratio of which you're talking about your book is super important. And online etiquette is super important. How
Hmm.
many indie authors just go into comment sections and get, "Hey, I think you'd love my book. Go check it out."
Don't do
And it's
that.
like, that never works. It's never
Don't do it.
worked. Don't do it.
Hmm.
Everybody hates it, in fact. It turns
Yeah.
people against you, and it makes you seem like you don't know how to operate in a public space and how to socialize like a normal human being. I always tell people, market yourself as a reader, not a writer. You're a
Hmm.
reader. You're in a
Hmm.
reader space. If you want to attract writers, market to writers.
Hmm.
But you don't want to attract writers. You want
Hmm.
to attract readers. So the best way
Hmm.
to do that is to be a reader online, because writers will buy your stuff, but you only really want to pull them in if you're selling coaching, or you're selling writing services, or you're selling editing. But if you're trying to sell a book, you need to get to readers. And if people see you as a reader that they can trust, then if they like, "Oh, he likes the same stuff I like, maybe I'll actually like his book."
Yeah.
That's how you do it. I mean, that's I know there are a lot of, I think you post a lot of like author content. Like, you do post like as an author.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but you can
I.
fall into a trap if you do that. It's the same thing with making marketing content, because if you make
Hmm.
marketing content, you're targeting readers. I mean, writers.
Totally.
You're targeting people and teaching them how to market or how to create content. But those people might not buy your book because that's not
Hmm.
why they're there, you know?
Yeah, for me, it's always an experimentation because I see six-figure authors like just always posting about their books. Like every single post, you hardly know them as people. It's just every single
Yeah.
post is this is what my book is about. It feels like this and this, and apparently that works for them. Like for me, I like showing a little bit of who I am online and like building those relationships with people in the community.
Hmm.
So I mean, aside from my caveman cooking video once a week, it's like everything else I'm kind of experimenting with, how do I entertain people? How do I point them towards my books? And how do I just make sure I'm not being a jerk? Those are my
It's a
like three
prime example,
commandments,
brother. Your
Yeah.
caveman cooking videos are, they prove that you are funny.
Yeah.
You have humor. And so people can trust, when I read his book, it's going to be funny.
Hmm.
If they think that's funny, if they find
Totally.
that funny, it totally coincides. But like, on that, once you have an audience, the rules change.
Hmm.
Once you have like once you are, I don't know, I guess it's chicken and egg. And I think everything is different now. I think people are tired of being sold to. And so that's
Yes.
a big pervasive part of being in like an online community. People don't want
Sure.
to be pitched. They hate
Hmm.
being pitched, in fact. Like, don't freaking don't freaking pitch me. I don't
Hmm.
want to be sold. I just want to be, this is where I go to relax. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
that's what they think. This is where I go to relax. So you've got to, I don't want to say you got to trick people. You got to trick people. You got to trick them. they can't know that you're selling to them, because if they think you're selling to them, they're gonna click out. They're gonna swipe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Good advice.
that's just
Great
my
advice.
that's
I
my
mean, you guys are hearing from the master right now. His book has taken off this
wow.
year. It's crushing.
Thank
Speaking
you,
of
friend.
which,
Thank you.
like we're gonna switch gears a sec. Like, there's gonna be a sequel, right? Like, when are we getting book 2? When is that happening? Because I want it. I really liked this book.
I'm working on it. So I'm
Uh-huh.
actually working with my developmental editor right now. She
Splendid.
has been giving me she's going over the outline. So we're reworking the outline for book two.
Mm-hmm.
She loved the outline. So I
Mm-hmm.
can say that.
That's great.
I don't want to give any comp titles yet. I can't give any comp titles on the air, and I can't give any
Don't do
updates
it
for
then. Don't do
book
it.
two
Uh-huh.
on the air. But
Okay.
I can say that book two is coming.
Mm-hmm.
I plan to be on a yearly release schedule, or a year
Nice.
1.5 release
Okay.
schedule.
Good
So
cadence. Good cadence.
the goal, and what I've said for a long time, is that I plan to release in the fall of 2026 book two. Um,
Okay.
I do have I've been teasing news for a while that I'm still not allowed to share.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
All right. All
That
right.
things are happening, man. Things are
Mm-hmm.
happening, have happened, will happen, continue to happen every day. So
That's great.
I'll have updates. I hope in the new year. I should have information on the audiobook and information on book two sometime in January,
Nice.
and that's what I can say while this is recording.
Well, I'm excited. I'm going to share the crap out of it because I read Cello's Gates over the course of several months. I mean, I read it on my phone when I was donating plasma. Like, that was my plasma
Oh my.
donation. So I was reading it at like 1 hour bursts at a time. So it took me a little while. But, like, dude, especially as the book gets near the end, this is a thrill ride. Like, to me, this book felt like a
Thanks, man.
mix between Indiana Jones and Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's just so action packed and fun and has memorable characters. It's a banger. Like, your debut book shouldn't be this good, man. Like, what the heck? Like, it was just so
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
That means the
Well,
world to me.
well,
I put a lot of work into it.
it shows.
My editor, my dev editor, she worked with Brandon Sanderson on Mistborn. So she
Awesome.
was like, yeah, she's like, she knows him by name. I was so scared
Yeah.
to ask because I was like, for a long time, I was like, she had the Final Empire listed on her like books that she's worked on, and I was
Hmm.
like, cool, I'm gonna use that in my marketing. But I don't know if like how what did you do? What
Hmm.
did she do? And so like I just asked her recently. I was like, hey, so what's the efficacy of that? Like what's the deal?
What
What'd you
was your
do?
role?
And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, I know him. Brandon. She calls him. She's on a first name basis with him. She has been in his house. She's worked with he like she's trained a lot of editors who work at Dragonsteel.
Yeah.
So like legitimately she's like worked with Brandon Sanderson, but she's brilliant.
Hmm.
She approaches writing totally differently than I do because
Hmm.
she approaches it from a scientific level. There's like a
Nice.
she's got a checklist and she goes down chapter by chapter pointing out like we did basically a big thing that we did in this second dev edit was we took every single hero moment out of the book per character and assigned them point values, and then basically I know mathematically who is the biggest hero in book 2 right now and
Dang. All
who
right.
needs to be the biggest hero, and like the changes I need to make sure that this character is gets a few more points, this character gets less points, and it's crazy. I would never have thought to like do it this way, but it's
Hmm.
so brilliant and so yeah, she's absolutely brilliant. And then my line editor, who was a different, I hired a second editor for that because my dev editor didn't do line editing, and she worked with Lev Grossman on the Magician's trilogy.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I've forked out a lot of money to work with these people, but I was like, also they're they know what they're doing. I
Yeah.
just like Gray, I built a team that I could trust to do their jobs well, so that
Yes.
I didn't have to constantly be second guessing what they were telling me. And so that
Hmm.
when she said, "Hey, you need to change this," I wasn't like, "Oh, well, I don't want to change it." I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
okay, I trust you. I know why you're telling me that. I understand. You're going to explain it to me, and then we're going to have a discussion, and then I'm going to do it." And I
Hmm.
think it was so rare for her. Like, if you indie authors, if you hire an editor that you trust, listen to them, do
Yes.
what they tell you, because she's
Hmm.
like, I think she came in with like a, here are the things that you need to do, here are the things that if you're into it you can do, and then really if we get down to the nitty gritty, like here's some things you can do. And
Uh-huh.
so she started firing off things, and I was like, okay, okay,
Hmm.
okay,
Hmm.
okay. And then she eventually got down. She's like, "This is crazy. Nobody ever just says yes to things. This is I." She's like, "I have my like priorities that I have to argue for, and most of the editing calls are usually just her arguing with the clients, and that's wild to me. Because I'm like, well, not I.
Like,
You know
you're
what
the
you're
professional.
doing.
I'm going to take your advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And there are some ideas that like I love this advice that I can't remember who gave it originally. It might have been Stephen King. It could have been somebody else. And it's like, oh no, it was Pixar. It was a writer at Pixar, and
Hmm.
they said maybe I could be making that up. Anyway, the advice is the when you work with people, usually, and especially this is important for beta readers and like your friends, and it's like the idea they're going to give you to replace your work is wrong.
Mm.
They're not right. They
Hmm.
it probably sucks. Don't use it. But what they're telling you to replace, they're right about that. There's
Yes.
something wrong with the thing. You don't have to do what they tell you, because everybody wants to put in their 2 cents.
Yes.
They're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I think you should do this," and it's like,
Uh-huh.
I hate that idea. So I'm not going to do that, but I am going to fix this. But I'm going to
Uh-huh.
fix it my way because I'm the writer. And I
Right.
think that's so important. It's important to know as a beta reader, and it's also important to know as a writer.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
if you ask people to critique your work, they're gonna critique it. They're gonna give
Yes.
you criticism. So many authors are like, "Oh, I can't. I really just want them to come back and be like, this was perfect, and I loved it, and you did such a good job, and you're gonna sell 1 million copies." But that's never gonna happen. If you ask
Yeah.
people to be critical, they will look at it with a critical eye, and they will
Right.
have criticism.
Yeah, and it's so important to listen to that criticism too. It doesn't mean you have to take everything
Yeah,
necessarily, but
100%.
especially like these beta readers who are reading it as a normal reader would. I mean, when I gave The Legend of to my dozen beta readers, like I thought everyone was just gonna fall in love with it. I thought they're like, oh yeah, I had a blast writing this, so they're gonna have a blast reading it. And the consensus was that this book was okay. It was all right. And I was like, "What do you mean it's okay? This book's amazing." But as I started
What?
like, as I started collecting their feedback, there was like some consistency of, oh, the ending wasn't like very, I don't know, very fulfilling, and like this part felt a little out of place for a YA novel. And yeah, there was one person in particular, my friend Adam, who's like a really good beta reader, and dude, he let me have it on, very nicely, like nicely enough. I mean, he
Yeah,
wasn't just,
that's
but oh
good.
gosh, he really like tore some parts of the book apart. And I was kind of sore about it for a few days, but as I thought about it more, I'm like, he's right though. So I overhauled that book in some areas, and now it's a 5-star book. But thankfully, like
It's
with the
hard
beta
to kill
readers,
your darlings, man. It's hard to kill your
yeah,
darlings, and it's hard to
but
have your baby torn apart by somebody
yeah,
who you were like, "Man, I've seen you, passed out drunk. I don't trust you." Like there's like it's interesting. It's a
yeah.
really interesting ego check to have your work
It
critiqued.
is, but like the second Legend of which is coming out in April, like that's my 10th book. So at this point, like I've gotten
10th
better.
book,
Yeah, so I've gotten
Aaron.
better at killing my darlings, and I'm a little like better about it.
Yeah.
But regardless, anyway, but I will say that the consensus for the second Legend of from like the 10 beta readers that read it, like the lowest score it got was like an 8.5. Like for the most part, everyone loved it, and all the feedback I was getting was just like tightening nuts and bolts here and
Hell
there.
yeah, that's
And
amazing.
yeah, so anyway, Dude, I wanted this call to be like 20, 30 minutes. We've talked for almost an hour, so we should
Oh
probably
my
wrap
God,
this up. I
yeah.
know, it's
Well,
flown by.
hold on. Let me ask the questions that we're gonna
Oh,
go. We're gonna
gosh.
rapid fire. Okay, you
Okay.
gotta answer these. I prepared these questions for you, and I need you to answer them
You got it. You're the
uh,
boss. Let's go.
succinctly. Okay, everybody wants to learn about you. You never give them a chance, so I'm gonna give them a chance.
Okay. All
Nobody
right.
needs to talk about me. Okay, what? First question: what made you want to write young adult? Why young adult, and what led you there? And will you always do you always plan to write clean fantasy, or is there an adult fantasy book
Um,
in Aaron Hall's future?
I think I gravitate towards YA because my teen years were kind of when I came into myself and was starting to figure out who I was. And I do like kind of like the PG-13 level of content where it's like a little accessible for people who may not be comfortable with like adult content. And yeah, like some of my favorite books are YA, and I feel like
Yeah,
YA still has the capacity to have a lot of like social commentary and be very smart books. So that's why I
100%.
gravitate to YA. But I don't say that I write like clean fantasy per se. Like the Wesleyan
I
Chronicles,
thought you did. I
the
thought you said
Wesleyan
that.
Chronicles is marketed as Christian fantasy. Yes, like I would
Okay.
classify that as like clean fantasy. But the Legend of is like occasionally pretty irreverent for a YA book. Like it's got a handful of profanity. It's got some innuendos if you're looking for them. So
Okay.
it feels like if a James Gunn movie was a fantasy. Like that's what the Legend of feels like. So
That's
take that as you
amazing.
will. But I do
Guardians of the
have
Galaxy, brother. That's
yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's James Gunn flavored fantasy. So there's my pitch for you. But
There you go.
I do have a plan to write an adult like grimdark epic fantasy some year in the future, and it will be called Gods, Kings, and Graves, and it will be simply part 1, part 2, and part 3, a trilogy, and it's going to be freaking
Ooh.
rad. I want it to feel like Breaking Bad in an epic fantasy universe.
Oh man, that sounds great. I'm
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
excited. That's what I read. That's what I read mostly.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
I got you covered, man.
I will be all over that. But
Yeah.
that's amazing. Okay, I'm glad you answered that. Do you want do you plan to stay indie for your career, or do you want to go traditional at
You
any
know,
point?
I if a trad publisher hit me up and the offer was too good to refuse, like yeah, I'm open to those conversations. But I really do. I've learned to love the aspect of thinking like an entrepreneur and running as a small business and kind
Yeah.
of running my show. I like it. It's challenging. It's fun. It's introducing me to all these awesome people like you. But never say never. Like I'd be open to trad conversations if
You're
it's the
not
right fit.
pursuing it.
No, no. I see
You're not
things like
querying
no.
Legend of 2, the second
I
Legend of
I see myself being kind of like a Travis Baldree or Matt Dinniman, where like my indie work starts to become popular enough that that trad publishers start wanting to talk to me. Like
Yeah.
that's how I see it happening. But I do have an
Okay.
idea for a standalone that I think would have like a good space in the trad space. But that could be 10 years from now. We'll see.
Cool. Okay. Fight scenes. Magic, guns, or blades? What's your favorite to read about
To
and to
read
write
about,
about? Two answers.
I think magic. It's like I think
You like
magic duels
magical
are
battles?
so rad. I mean, there's a scene, there's a couple of scenes actually in the third book in the Wesleyan Chronicles, Awakened, where you see there are two master magicians. Of one is basically a master of like standard magic, and the other's a master of dark magic, and they get into it a couple of times, and it's freaking rad. And there's one really cool magic duel in the second Legend of that you guys will love. So it's so fun. So yeah, I think
Amazing.
magic battles are like my favorite. Just lightning shooting everywhere
Wow.
and like the ground breaking and rippling like water and just
Oh,
thinking of
that's
what's
dope. Yeah,
possible.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to do like a. This is going to be hard for you. This is going to be really difficult.
Here we go.
Intentionally so. I need your favorites books based on this criteria. All right?
Oh
Your
boy,
favorite world building, like
my
book or
favorite
series.
My favorite world building. Oh, Cello's Gate by far. Like Cello's Gate,
Oh,
best
get
world
out of here.
building. Yeah.
No,
Uh,
no, no, no. You can't do me or you.
shoot.
It can't be my book or your book.
I'm gonna go pop and say, Lord of the Rings. I feel like Tolkien
Classic.
built
Easy
he built the
classic. Yeah.
blueprint. Yeah, it's
He did do it. He
everything.
did do it, man.
Everything we do has a shadow of Tolkien in it. We can't help it.
Everybody knows what an elf is. Everybody knows what a dwarf is. 100%.
Yep.
Magic system. Favorite magic system.
Wizard of Earthsea.
Ooh, I have
Yeah,
not read that.
Oh, it's tremendous. And the way that Ursula K. Le Guin writes magic in it is it's always remains this big unwieldy thing that no one can help could actually truly master and truly understand. I don't want to say annoyed, but magic doesn't have to make sense. It can be magical. It can be beyond our understanding.
Yeah.
So
Oh my god, I love soft magic systems so much.
yeah. Yeah.
I just want fireballs, man. I just give me fireballs for the sake of fireballs. Okay,
Yeah.
fight scenes. Favorite fight scene. Favorite book with fight scenes.
Oh,
Favorite
Game
fight
of
scenes in a book.
Thrones. Game of Thrones.
Ooh, he is
I
a
remember,
very talented technician, George R. R. Martin.
I
100%.
remember squirming in my seat reading a duel scene from Game of Thrones where I was I was feeling it, and no other book has done that to me.
I can't imagine if I hadn't seen Game of Thrones before I got to the Viper versus the Mountain. I would have been on the. I mean, I don't know, because the show had me I had nightmares after that duel. Okay, favorite hero and favorite villain. These are the last two, I promise.
Ooh,
I've erased
favorite
several
hero.
questions because they would go on for way too long. Favorite hero, favorite villain.
Samwise Gamgee for hero. He's just.
Oh, that's a great. That says a lot about you.
Thank you. He is the real MVP of Lord of the Rings, and Frodo wouldn't have got there without Sam. It's we all
100%.
agree. Favorite
100%.
villain. Shoot, I'm looking at all my books.
Yeah, I know. I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I wish I had time to think about this. Favorite villain. I'm gonna say
Should have
Walter
sent you
White.
the questions.
I'm gonna say Walter White from Breaking Bad because he is the protagonist, but he becomes the villain.
Yeah.
That's part of what appeals to me about that show and what I want to implement into my upcoming fantasy epic eventually is I want to watch a good man become evil and what pushed him to that extreme, and what it would take.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think he is a fascinating character and a great villain.
He is. Oh my God, incredible. Yeah, that's a great choice. It made me rethink how I would think about picking a villain because a character like the Bloody Nine from the First Law is that kind of he's a villain. 100% he's a villain. He's a monster. And that makes him but he's also a hero,
Yeah.
and it depends on the day. It depends on who we're talking about and depends on what side of the line he's on. And whether his alter ego is present or not, which is also, a fun thing to play with. Okay, that's it. I did it. It didn't take that long. It was 6 minutes. We did great. We did good.
That wasn't bad. Yeah. Thanks for picking my brain a little bit. It's nice. But yeah, anyway, we do need to wrap this up though. We've been talking for over an hour.
Yeah.
Maurice, tell us where we can find your work. Give us the plug. Tell the people what they need to know.
Okay, so Cello's Gate is available everywhere books are sold. You can go to Barnes & Noble online. You can go to Amazon. If you are a library user, you can go on Libby. You can request it there. You can even go to your local library and request it there. Any bookstore, like a indie bookstore, they can order it. So just go and ask them for it, and they'll be able to order it for you. But if you are a Kindle or a Kobo user, it's also there. I think you can get it on the Google Play Store. Honestly, if you look for it, you'll find it. Just look for Cello's Gate. You'll be able to buy it 100%. I'm also currently taking signups for my community Discord. So all the fans of Cello's Gate who are hearing this, go to my site. We're doing a Malazan reading on Fable. Next year, we're doing a whole read of the Malazan series. What else have I got going on? Oh, yes! Speaking of rewards, I did win 2 awards today. The Romantasy Science Fiction of the Year and Debut of the Year.
Deserved.
I'm also up for awards with Indie Inc. and I'm up for 5 awards there.
Nice.
For let me see if I can remember. Best friendship, best morally gray character, best use of tropes, wittiest character, and side character MVP. Go vote for me. It's in my link tree. Just go to my link tree. Everything is in my link tree. If you have any doubts, just find me online and go to my link tree.
Woo!
There's the plug.
We got it.
I
We
gotta
got it.
prepare a plug, man. I'm just like, I don't have anything prepared for this. But
No, that's
thank you,
great, dude.
thank you for
It
the
was so
time
much
and
fun
thank you
chatting with you.
for the interview.
Yeah,
This has been awesome. Yeah.
dude. Yeah, this is super fun. Like, we'll have to have you on again when you're ready to promote book 2. And thanks for making
Yes.
time to hang out with me
100%.
today, man.
You're very welcome. It's been a blast.
All right. Yeah, we'll catch you later.
Tell you.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for being here. Expect new episodes every week. And keep reading. You guys are great.